Number 10. Dolphins. Dolphins are so cute, right? They're always got big smiles on their faces, they jump high in the air and they seem so playful. Well, they're also extremely cruel and they can beat the hell out of you. Dolphins have been known to practice infanticide. Yeah, they'll kill their own kids. They usually do this by beating them to death with their baseball bat like noses. They've also been known to do this to sharks. Anything out there that's beating the hell out of sharks can't be that nice to hang around. They're also super intelligent. Some research says that they're only second to humans. So they're basically like humans, but with no laws. A school of dolphins is basically just a gang ready to beat the hell out of someone and take their wallet. Now, attacks on humans are very rare, but they will attack you if they feel threatened. With all that being said, we still need to take them out of the tanks. They're so smart, they shouldn't be locked up in these horrible cages. If you get the chance to swim with dolphins on vacation, just don't. Let those places go out of business so dolphins can get released into the ocean and hang out with their gang member friends. Please. Number 9. Pandas. I mean, they're so goddamn sweet looking and they're vegetarians. How could something that only wants to eat bamboo be mean? I mean, look at how cute this video is. If that doesn't warm your heart, then there's no hope for you. You should become one of those people that want to volunteer to go to Mars, because there's no one that's ever gonna love you on this planet. Sorry, that was very harsh. Even though these big old bears look like an even cuter version of raccoons, well, they're still bears. You know those giant lumbering beasts that hang out in the woods and eat campers? Pandas are part of that club too. Back in 2015, a scared panda ran into a small Chinese village. It managed to grab a hold of a man's leg and broke it. Even though pandas look like God designed them to be in a Hello Kitty commercial, they're still wild animals and very, very powerful. Number 8. The slow loris. Look at this little tyke with his big ol' eyes. He looks like the nerdy girl at the beginning of a movie who looks all shy and dorky, and then at the end of the movie she takes her glasses off and she was hot the whole time. Well, even though these dudes look like little innocent Marvel fans with Coke bottle glasses, they're actually packed full of poison. The slow loris have poisonous glands on their elbows and they use it to protect themselves. What they do is they'll lick these glands and then lick their fur. That way if a predator tries to eat them, they get a mouthful of tainted fur. Even when these things look at their cutest, they're actually trying to kill you. If you ever tickle a loris, it will raise its arms in the air. It looks like it's loving a little belly rub, but it's actually trying to show you the poison glands on its arms and that it feels threatened. So it's actually true. No one likes being tickled. Number 7. Elephants. I love those videos of baby elephants playing with people. They come up to you and they sit on you and they roll all over you. It's like playing with a giant dog that still thinks it's a puppy. We even have movies like Dumbo, which elephants look like the most kind-hearted creatures you could ever come across. But don't forget that these things grow up to be the largest land animal and they're strong enough to pop your head like a cherry tomato if they wanted to. And they do have a little bit of a track record of attacking people. In between the years of 2010 and 2015, how many elephant attacks do you think happened to people? Well, if you guessed 37,000, then you were exactly right. There was even a case in Belwatan, India, where an elephant was killed by a train. After the elephant was killed, a bunch of other elephants gathered around the spot where the grisly murder took place, and a few days later they attacked the village in what seemed to be a revenge attack. This is like Kill Bill Volume 3.
Horses
2,000.
and elephants.
No elephants, Your Grace.
That's disappointing.
Number 6. Anteater. I mean, these guys don't really look cute, but they definitely don't look threatening either. I would say next to sloths, anteaters are the most stoner looking animal out there. Every time I see an anteater, it looks like he just ripped a massive bong and the next thing he's gonna say is, "Yo, you got any ants?" But even though these guys are extraordinary chill in appearance, they'll actually throw down if need be. Anteaters aren't aggressive, but if for whatever reason you corner them, they will clap back. Who the hell is going around cornering anteaters? Get a better pastime, you perverts. And these guys are very good at standing up for themselves. They can even fight off jaguars and panthers. They have 4-inch claws and they know how to use them. If you're ever wondering if an anteater is ready to slap your lips, you'll know because it'll be standing on its hind legs just like the meme. Number 5. Seals. I mean, these guys look as adorable as they look dopey. They've got these big loving puppy faces and like these fat bodies that say, I'm comfortable with who I am, and who I am is someone who loves fried cheese. But seals can get super aggressive and also have some pretty cruel tendencies. First of all, if you get too close, they've been known to bite humans. There's even a case of a leopard seal dragging someone so deep underwater that they drowned. And they will also torment penguins. Seals have been known to chase penguins until they die from exhaustion. Although that is terrible, the idea of a seal chasing a penguin is one of the funniest things I've ever heard of. It's like a super fat guy chasing someone on crutches. Number 4, the platypus. How the hell did this thing happen? If God exists, he definitely believes in recycling. The platypus is a prime example of that. It looks like after he made all the creatures on Earth, he had a bunch of spare parts, and he was like, well, let's take this to the kitchen, we'll whip something up, throw it all in the crock pot, let's see what happens. The platypus has the face of a duck, the body of an otter, webbed toes, and it's a mammal that lays eggs. But something that the platypus is hiding is a spur on the back of its hind legs that's packed with venom. Yeah, a little bit of snake worked its way into the mix of this little smorgasbord. Now you don't need to worry about this little guy killing you. The venom only packs enough punch to kill something about the size of a dog, so keep your pug away from this thing. But if it stings you, it will hurt like hell, so try to avoid it.
Possibilities. Hey, where's Barry?
Number 3, chimps. So do you guys remember the movie MVP, Most Valuable Primate? About the chimp that plays hockey so well that he plays with a bunch of kids and wins them a championship? So heartwarming. And the sequel, Most Vertical Primate, where a chimp skateboards, which is one of the funniest movie ideas I've ever heard of. I wish I was in the pitch meeting for that. It's like they had a Venn diagram where one side was Air Bud and the other side was 90s kids, and right in the middle is where this movie was born. Well, those movies made chimps look like fun-loving team players who know how to have a good time. But in reality, they're unbelievably vicious. They'll rip your body apart with their bare hands. They even cannibalize other chimps. There's a case of a woman who had one as a pet. One day she brought him home a Tickle Me Elmo toy, and out of nowhere, he went berserk and ripped her face off. I think Tickle Me Elmo toys must be like blackface for apes or something, I don't know. Number 2, the blue-ringed octopus. Octopus or octopi, whichever you would like to say. I read that octopi is wrong because putting an I at the end of something is Latin and the word octopus is Greek, but I also don't like saying words that end with pusses. But for the most part, these guys seem pretty chill. They'll hide from you, they don't eat people, only the really big ones have been recorded attacking anyone, so the little ones must be fine, right? Wrong. The blue ring octopus is just a little guy, but it's one of the most poisonous creatures on the planet. It has enough poison to kill 26 full-grown people in a matter of minutes. What makes this little hidden monster even more dangerous is it hides in shallow tide pools, meaning you could accidentally step on it, and when it feels threatened, that's when it's going to bite you. The good news is you're going to die really, really fast. Number 1, poison dart frog. A frog, bro? That's number 1 on the list? A frog? I know some people don't like them because they're slimy and stuff, but a lot of you out there never knew that one of these things could kill you just by touching it. I mean, look at this little guy. He's chilling hard. He's got a little belly out, he's got his feet in the water, he's on vacation, dude. But the poison dart frog is not as chill. Specifically, the golden poison dart frog has enough venom to kill 10 adult humans. Now, this isn't as poisonous as the blue-ringed octopus. The reason that it beat it out for number 1 is because this thing can kill you just by touching it. You don't need to get bitten, which is definitely scarier. We're gonna kick off this list with dogs. Don't get me wrong, I love dogs. Every time I see a good boy in the street, I just need to take a moment to appreciate the glory that this pupper brings to the table. And the vast majority of dogs are sweet and would never hurt a fly. They just want to be snuggled and occasionally destroy your home and pee on things. And even when dogs are mean, it's always the owner's lack of care that makes a bad dog. No dog is ever born bad. But all that being said, there are some people out there who don't know how to take care of their dogs, and this leads to bites and attacks. There are over 35,000 people who die from dog attacks globally each year. That's why you always need to ask to pet someone's dog before you do it, even though it's so hard to resist petting a dog. I could go longer without carbs than petting a dog. At number 9 we have hippos. Hippos look like big, heavy, cuddly balls of fat that you could just snuggle up next to. They look like savanna cows. Most people would see a hippo just chilling and they would probably think they're not a threat. But it might surprise you that they are some of the most aggressive animals in Africa. They kill people all the time. They'll even tip over boats so they can take your head and crush it like a peanut M&M. They don't just attack humans either, but hippos will kill almost anything that comes too close to them. They destroy crocodiles, it's not even a contest. They'll even smash lions like Mike Tyson winning the heavyweight title at 19. Really, the only thing that slows down a hippo is elephants. I mean, that makes sense. That would be like me fighting Andre the Giant. Probably fun for everyone to watch, but I would have a concussion in the first 15 seconds. At number 8 we have pufferfish. When they're swimming around, they got a pretty clueless face. They got this big body and little fins. They're kind of like the T-Rex of the underwater world. But even though these guys look like the clueless kid in your math class who would breathe through his mouth, they have something hidden up their sleeve. If you stress them out, they'll blow up like me after eating too much cheese. When they do this, they'll expose the sharp spines that they have covering their body, and it'll make them a lot harder to play with. Now that you know not to give a pufferfish anxiety, it seems easy enough. But most species of pufferfish have an extra layer that makes them even more deadly. Most of them are extremely poisonous, like one bite and you're gonna be on the floor with foam coming out of your mouth kind of poisonous. But this doesn't stop them from being a delicacy in Japan. There are places you can go to eat pufferfish. It needs to be prepared by a trained professional, and if they don't prepare it properly, it will kill you. So even if you're not swimming around in the water, these guys can find a way to end your life if you don't know how to read a menu properly. At number 7 we have geese. They look kind of like ducks, and ducks are cute as hell. So a bigger duck would just be an even bigger oversized ball of cuteness, right? Wrong. Geese are mean. They hate everything. The only thing they like are their kids and biting people in the faces. They're very territorial and they will drown animals that come into their feeding area. Have you ever tried to give a goose bread? They don't even wait politely in line like ducks or pigeons. No, they will attack you and try to rip the bread out of your hand. It happened to me when I was 4. They're foul creatures who love to hiss and squawk at people. Not to mention, if geese fly over your car, you can bet that they'll take a dump on it the size of a Cinnabon. At number 6 we have beavers. They look so innocent. They're small, they got big buck teeth, they got this huge floppy tail. They kind of look like the nerds of the animal kingdom. I picture them carrying around a bunch of books and wearing thick Coke bottle glasses. But even though these little dudes look like they were born with social anxiety, they have extremely powerful jaws and they can bite through someone's skin like a hot knife through butter. In 2016, there was a couple swimming in a lake in Connecticut. They're probably just having a great old time with their young love, ignoring the impending doom of climate change. Something they were also ignoring was the giant beaver nest that was close by, because in the murky water snuck up a buck-toothed furball that bit right through the ligament in the young lady's thumb. There was also a man who was killed by a beaver when it chomped down on his leg and severed an artery. At number 5 we have moose. Mooses? Moosei? I think it's just moose for the plural. These big old forest folk have a long face and a lot of people think they live and act like deer. You know how if you walk up to a deer, it will run away. Yeah, moose won't do that. Moose will beat you to death and leave your corpse for the scavengers. Moose have a personal bubble, and if you go into that space, they will probably charge you and they'll get super pissed off and then, I don't know, maybe like crush your head or like step on you. I don't know how a moose kills you, but it's in a horrible way. In Alaska, more people get attacked by moose than bears. And if it's mating season, you can bet you want to stay miles away from any male moose. When a male moose is horny, they become super aggressive. A horny moose is more dangerous than drinking 2 cups of coffee and getting stuck in highway traffic. But they both end with you filling your slacks full of butt chocolate. At number 4, we have deer. I mean, it's Bambi for God's sake. How could these things be scary? If Disney has taught us anything about deer, it's that they are sweethearts of the forest and they can make friends with literally any animal. Also, if you shoot a deer, remember there's a little baby deer out there looking for its mama. I just told you that to brighten up your day a little bit. Well, if you don't know, deer kill more people in America than any other animal. Around 120 people a year die from deer. Now, how many people do you think die from rattlesnakes each year in America? Well, it's just 1. So you should be way more afraid of getting gored by a buck than getting poisoned by a reptilian maraca. Most of the deaths from deer come from people driving into them. But deer also carry a ton of diseases. I don't know if you remember, but there was a zombie deer epidemic running around the US last year. Literally, deer with rotting bodies and brains were on the loose and it was terrifying. At number 3, we have the Tasmanian Devil. I mean, we all know Taz. He's one of the most famous Looney Tunes. If you don't know him, I have no idea what you've been doing with your life. I mean, he was in the world famous movie Space Jam, the world's greatest commercial and critical success. But in real life, these things look pretty cute. They're little black furballs. They kinda look like what I would picture Pikachu would look like if he had black hair. But these bad boys are pretty vicious. They have teeth that can slice right through bone with an extremely powerful bite. They typically eat small animals, but they will attack humans if they feel threatened. Also, they're nocturnal, so if you're getting chased by a pack of these guys at night, you can bet that they have the upper hand. At number 2, we have cats. I feel like most of us out there are starting to catch on to what cats are doing. They all look cute and nice and sweet with their big eyes and furry faces, but deep down we know that all cats are they only want to hang out with you when they need something. They'll wake you up in the middle of the night for food or just to be playing rude. They'll sometimes randomly scratch you when they're petting them. Like, dude, what do you want? But you have to admit, they are super cute. That's the only reason why we put up with their garbage. It's like the age-old saying goes, if you're good looking, you can get away with anything. I might have just made that up. I don't know if that's a real thing. But there's something outside of cats' terrible personality that makes them a threat. They have a toxin in their poop that can make you very sick. It's something that is deadly to humans and is especially risky for pregnant mothers. So think about that next time you're scooping turds out of that sandbox. And at number 1, we have the Wolverine. I don't know if any of you out there have seen a Wolverine. It's a white dude from Canada in a yellow jumpsuit with a broken past and everyone he has ever loved is dead. Well, it's that, and it's also a member of the weasel family. But these dudes look super cute and cuddly. They look like a big ferret you could have a tea party with. But these bastards are vicious. They're very territorial and would fight anything that makes them feel uncomfortable. Like, I mean anything. They'll kill a moose if they have to. Just to put that into perspective for you, a moose is around 1,500 pounds and a Wolverine is only 80. Could you imagine fighting something 20 times larger than you in a fight to the death and winning? That's unreal.
Coming in at number 10, we have the devil lamb. In South Africa, inhabitants of a village were shocked and disturbed by the birth of a human-looking lamb. Villagers were convinced that either bestiality or witchcraft were at play when the human-looking lamb was birthed, although sadly the creature was stillborn. While DNA samples confirmed that the creature was indeed a lamb, many locals were convinced that the dead sheep was the work of the devil or a bad omen of things to come. Check out this goat at number 9. In April 2016, a kid was born that looked like an actual human kid. A farmer from Felda in Malaysia posted the image of an animal on social media. Unfortunately, the baby goat didn't live very long, but it did indeed look like a hairy bipedal mammal. Some were saying that the goat looked human, but to be honest, I think it looks more like a baby Chewbacca. It definitely has human-like lips and a nose, but I don't know, I'm just sad that this little guy didn't make it. Coming in at number 8, we have this cow. A cow born in India with human features caused a stir in 2017. Cows are seen as sacred in India, so when a calf was born with human-like features, people thought that it was an avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu. Locals flocked to see the calf, which died shortly after birth. Despite being dead, Hindus placed the animal in a glass box and laid it with floral garlands. One worshipper said that God has taken birth in the body of a local cow, which I personally think is a bit extreme. He said that a lot of people were there to worship the cow and seek his blessings. We have another goat at number 7. This one was born in Argentina. A genetic disorder meant that the kid was born with a facial deformity. The farmer who owned the animal presented it to cameras and video footage was uploaded to YouTube. Okay, look at this dog at number 6. Like, really look at it. Look at it in the eye. Are you guys creeped out? Because I am. Tonic, the poodle shih tzu mix, has a very human looking demeanor about him. Like, he looks like he knows things. Pictures of the pooch went viral in 2013 as his shelter photos were listed on Pet Finder. He's definitely very cute, but when I look at him, I feel like he knows more than he should. Like, who was this dog in a former life? Okay, so this is animals born with human faces, but this animal looks like it was very much born with specifically human teeth. We have the Prometheus succulus at number 5. This squid looks like an angry killer ready to bite, like hung. Who knew these critters were living down there screaming silently into the ocean. While it looks like this squid has a human set of teeth, these are actually folded lip flaps. Gross. This squid might be confused if it saw us too, but it's unlikely that we will ever come face to face with it because it lives so far down in the ocean. Coming into number 4, we have this cat with a human face. Although I say human face, it actually kind of looks like a semi-human werewolf. Bizarre images of a cat with a human-like face were circulated on the internet in October 2014. People were claiming it was taken in Western Malaysia. Footage of the creature was also recorded on a phone camera. The creature kind of looks like a cross between a cat and Gollum from Lord of the Rings. It was on all fours and it had fangs, but like kind of a very human-like face. The image caused so much fuss that local police in Malaysia were forced to make a statement saying that the creature was fake. Although, was it actually? Meet this pig at number 3. Now this story actually comes from our sister news channel Inform Overload. Back in 2014, Dave Warple reported that a pig had been born with a human-looking face in Vietnam. First reported on Tomo News, the animal appears to be a pig with a decidedly humanoid appearance, but people in Laos, where it was born, speculated it was the work of bestiality. Which, I mean, that just isn't how things work. To be fair though, I don't really know how anything works, and I'm ready to question anything I ever thought was true here at number 2. We have this pig with a human face and a human-looking penis on its head. This piglet was videoed gasping for air and was widely shared on Chinese social media. The piglet was the only one of the litter of 19 to have such an unusual deformity. It seemed like it had a human face with the addition of what looked like a flaccid penis on its head, which is extremely unfortunate. Eyewitness Wu Kung was one of a dozen people who went to see the piglet, and he said that it actually really did look like it had a penis growing out of its forehead. There it is. I can't not look at it. Finally, at number 1, a weird but very cute and happy story, we have this lamb that looks like an old man. In 2015, a female lamb went viral when she was born in a Russian village. Sheep are born in Russia all the time, so what was the big deal? Well, this lamb looked like a grumpy old human man. The Russian farmer the lamb belongs to said that she had normal looking parents, it must have just been a deformity. Residents of the town flocked to see the sheep, although it is said that the lamb scared the children. The farmer said that he thought that she was a beauty and refused to sell her to the local circus, and like, isn't that love? So then